Aaron Russo, the director, the producer of America, Freedom to Fascism, is with us. I want to put a plug in for Aaron Russo's video. Aaron has told me on air and off air that he's more proud of that film than making movies with Eddie Murphy and Bette Midler, some of them blockbusters, and bringing huge rock bands like Led Zeppelin to the America, and just all the famous things he's done. U.S. champion arm wrestler. He invented the more modern ladies' underwear, quite devilish of him. I mean, Aaron has done quite a bit. Aaron is definitely a trailblazer. A lot of people don't know all the things he has done, but he's more proud of that. And I know why, because I've experienced the things I'm proud of, doing a good job, standing up against evil, telling the truth, fighting these people. You're either going to be wearing the white hat or the black hat, folks, and I'm glad I'm a good guy. I mean, how great is it, though, in this key juncture in time, that everywhere our message is number one. I mean, every other day, the number one video on YouTube or Google or all of them is a Patriot film, my film, Aaron's film, Loose Change, 9/11 Mystery, some of the other films. I mean, to see that happening, I mean, it lets us know we're number one now.
Well, it lets you know that they realize what's going on. They know there's a spirit embracing the country and a movement happening that they want to squash. And they have to move very quickly. You got to remember, there's a worldwide globalist movement happening now. In their minds, they're in the beginning of the third act, okay? This is the beginning of the end.
Lay it out.
Everything.
But hold on, Aaron. Give us the first and second act so people understand. Some people may not know what a play is. I mean, they know what a play is, but they don't know about what acts are.
Well, when you set up a movie or a show or something, you have the first act, you introduce all the characters, the plot of the movie. You know, the middle is where everything sort of unfolds. And then the last act is where everything comes to its conclusion. And the finale. And right now we're at the beginning of the last act. Everything they've put into place, putting the Federal Reserve into place, putting all these government agencies there, passing all these horrific laws, everything is in place. The first and second acts are done. Now the third act is the act of executing everything and bring it all together. And what people don't realize is that this is a worldwide event going on, and that it's all these industrialized nations working together through the banking systems that are bringing this about. What's real interesting is, I don't know if you people know about this, but, China just bought into the Blackstone Group. Okay, they just spent $3 billion buying into the Blackstone Group, which is an American company that's a private equity firm that's going to go public very shortly. And by buying into, they spent $3 billion. But Blackstone Group is also the group, and I started doing the research on this last night, and I'm pretty sure what I'm saying it was accurate. The Blackstone Group is the group that owned World Trade Building Number 7 that Larry Silverstein worked for. And isn't it interesting that this Building 7, all the steel was shipped to China after the building came down and was not treated as a crime scene. And now all of a sudden they sent all the steel over to China, and now the Blackstone Group comes in, and the Chinese bank comes in and spends $3 billion to buy a small percentage of the stock of the company.
Well, we know Silverstein in many ways was just the front for a holding company. He originally only owned 7.
Blackstone's the holding company.
Pardon me?
I said Blackstone is the holding company for Building 7. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden China comes in and buys a percentage for $3 billion of the Blackstone company. And that's the same, and that's where we sent the steel to from the building that was never analyzed here for the thermite.
This is the third act. I mean, all the dominoes are lined up, all their preparations, everything they've done. They're even saying this. They're even saying that they're 4 or 5 years behind, that resistance is mounting. They're saying they're in danger of not getting it through. And I've always likened it to the, Indy 500, the last lap. They're in the lead, but they didn't stop the last 2 pit stops. Their tires are bald, their engine's on fire.
Right.
And I don't think they're going to make it. I think their engine's going to blow. We got to gut up and push as hard as we can, because like you said, Aaron, they're rushing to the finish line. They feel their legs starting to falter. They feel the burn in their calves and their ankles. They can feel their back cracking. We've got to see that weakness and go with the juggler. Aaron?
Well, I agree to a point, but I see it as for the first time they're seeing resistance. I don't think they've really seen resistance before. We were like a mosquito before. Now we're like a horsefly. You know. Well, the point is, you know, they know that people are waking up. You know, they know people are waking up, and they know that you know that as people wake up more and more, the resistance is just going to build. And so they've got to get, you know, like this thing with the Immigration Act they're trying to pass. You know, it's really about the ID card and having everybody carrying an ID card.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I mean, they can see the exponential growth curve of the movement, and you try to explain to the public, hey, this isn't just an amnesty. This means, yeah, they're going to federalize every worker in America, what Ridge called for 3 years ago on C-SPAN, and check your biometric Real ID Act card, and then enforce it on the American people while selectively enforcing and leaving the illegal aliens alone. That's it in a nutshell.
I think I once told you, I think I said this to you, I'm not sure, but when I was hanging out with Nick Rockefeller, you know, one of them, he said to me, what do you care about the ID card? You get stopped by a cop, you show him your ID card, and your card will say KMA on it.
Which means kiss my behind, yeah.
Exactly.
My patoot, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the point. They know what they're doing, and the fact is this immigration thing is all about us getting ID cards. They're going to find someone. You can't get a job without it. You know, this thing that...
Well, that's what they're saying under Real ID Act by itself. They're just integrating it into the guest worker program for citizens anyways. They're saying we're going to have federal ID checks just to have jobs.
Exactly, and now they're passing laws about, you know, posse comitatus. They can put troops on the street. They want Mexicans.
Well, did you see the other, I mean, during the debate, every other candidate, it was like they were not talking to the American people. They were showing off in a beauty contest for David Rockefeller and Kissinger and the Rothschilds. They were all up there going, we need a national ID card. We need a national ID. We need this to stop the illegals.
Look,
that was mostly Giuliani doing that, actually.
Yeah. If you look at building a North American community and Mr. Dr. Professor Trader Robert Pastor and the CFR, I mean, look what they want. They want total labor mobility between the three countries. That will, in effect, make all this immigration stuff go away anyway. So, obviously, what's the real reason?
Yeah, they're saying we're going to end murder because we're going to stop calling it murder and legalize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And once they've dissolved the borders, that's it.
You know, we could sit and talk about it. The truth of the matter is, I don't know how to make the American public. I try so hard to make them understand how serious this is. You know, when I talked about revolution the other day, you know, I mean it. I mean, what's happening here is beyond the pale.
No, it's high treason in our face by a pack of scum who are a bunch of eugenicists who want to set up a microchip population, as Nick Rockefeller told you, and this is in their own documents. Aaron, you were trying to talk about the foreign troops. They're talking about having Mexican police as our police, AP. The masses of our military is already illegal alien. I mean, that is standard tyranny right there.
Well, it's globalization. What's happened, they've destroyed the American worker to create a global environment for all these big corporations to exist in, and screw the American worker. They don't mean anything. No, they don't care about America. America's being sold out for China, for other countries. That's all it's about. It's about where the money's going to flow from. Capital. Where's the capital going to flow from? Who to who? They don't care about the people of America. There's no loyalty to America.
And they're listening to nothing we say. Even the legislatures of Indiana, Texas, and others say, may we please see the agreement between the Departments of Transportation, local, and the foreigners, and they say no.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, and how are we putting up with this?
I mean, it's just on its face.
But somehow, Alex, we've got to get together. I'm not sure I know how to do this exactly. But we've all got to get together and have a meeting or something to find a way to battle this thing back. I mean, you can sit on the radio all day long, and I can make movies, and there's all kinds of things we can do.
Now, when we met about 4 months ago, you talked about you and I and Ron Paul and a few other people meeting and trying to come up with a strategy. And I just think what we're seeing is, it was funny, everything you strategize is exactly what Ron Paul's doing. I think our type of minds do think alike, and people that are into freedom and liberty. And I think that, like you said, it's a spirit. It's a manifesto. It's a constitution. I think, you know, we're all basically from the same sheet of music here, and we just need to have the listeners out there spread these ideas. It's really up to them, Aaron.
There's no question about it. But somehow we've got to reach into them, into their spirit, to understand how serious this is. Because sometimes when you talk about something, it ceases to carry the same gravity, the same weight that you want it to carry because you talk about it so much.
Any closing comments just about everything we face? I mean, look at the Democrats, totally pro-war with that smoke and mirrors. I mean, the war just goes on and on. Where do you see all this going if Ron Paul doesn't win or if Ron Paul doesn't get the nomination?
If Ron Paul doesn't get the nomination, what's happening is we're heading into everything George Orwell was afraid of. You know, it's all coming to pass unless there's a revolution in this country. Unless there actually becomes a violent revolution of some sort, there's nothing's going to change it. Other than that, at this point in the game, in my opinion. You know, it
is like a Twilight Zone episode to have the AP saying they're going to have Mexican police on our streets.
Man, think about it. Mexican police, I mean, foreign armies here. I mean, what are we doing? We don't have America anymore. And it has nothing to do with the American people. It has all to do with the bankers.
Well, you know, what comes around goes around. We've been over there for actually 16 years in Iraq, over 3 million dead. 650,000 the first 3 years of occupation, now over 1 million conservative numbers. And they're occupied and they don't like it. Well, you're going to get to be occupied, America.
Exactly. And that's they don't care. Here's the thing. For some reason, people can't get past the fact that it's not the government running things. It's the elite bankers that are running things. And they can't get past the fact that the government doesn't care about us. They don't care about us.
Aaron Russo, Director of American Freedom to Fascism, available at Infowars.com. Thanks for being on with us, my friend.
Hey, anything you have, I have such tremendous respect and admiration for you, Alex. You have no idea. You really don't know. I have nothing but love in my heart for you.
Well, I love you too, Aaron, and it's all right back at you, my friend. Take care.
Thank you.
Here goes Aaron Russo.